Similarly to how you said there was a need for Sikhism because of rejection of some of the traditional Hindu values, do you think in the future traditional Hinduism could divide into two different schools of thoughts enough to create a new religion? Maybe the idea of the spiritual humanist side.
I'm hoping, in fact I'm prompting the idea that Hinduism should move on now. It's time for Hinduism to evolve. In this kind of fixation on lots of gods and goddesses, it's time perhaps to abandon it. It's time to move on. As I said, this comes from my mentor Swami Vivekananda. He said, rather than focus on this super personality and then sing his songs, he said, lovely thing he said, how many lifetimes will you keep bowing down and breaking your backbone, bowing down to this deity and that deity to solve your problems? And then why don't you stand on your own feet and sort yourself out rather than bowing down to others? I'll give you one example. It's a very pointed thing. Yesterday I went to a relation's house. He had a very young son, and he just died with a heart attack overnight. Boom, disappeared. And that man was distraught. The first thing when I phoned him, I said, I'm sorry to hear this. He said, I want to ask you one question. Is there a God? And he was crying. You see what's happened? What can I tell him? His concept of God, like a super personality, is like a fourth emergency service that, my family should be well looked after. That doesn't exist. Such a God doesn't exist. What can I tell him? So if you have this faith in a super personality, at some stage you're going to get severely frustrated. This will destroy your faith. He said, I have no more faith now. See, he's destroyed his faith in religion. Because what he was expecting has not happened. He thought if he worships God, everything works out well for him. Suddenly his young son dies. What can he do? So you see this idea from Vivekananda, forget about bowing down to this deity. Why don't you, respect what you have here? Stand on your own feet and sort yourself out. Even if you get it wrong, so be it. It's your mistake then. So rather than have faith in a God, have faith in yourself. What a marvelous transition. So I am hoping, as this young man asked, are we in the process of evolving where we have a new face of new Hinduism? I say, yes, we are. And this particular vision I have is not only fit for Hinduism, it is fit for all the religions of the world. I'm suggesting very strongly in days to come, all religions will have to focus more on humanity and the spiritual aspect of humanity rather than this monotheist God, because it's creating tremendous hassle. It flies in the face of common sense. It creates tremendous fanatic behavior. People say, oh, God is on my side, I'm on God's side, I can kill or be killed and all that. All this fanaticism will stop. But there's nobody there to link up with. You have to link with human beings. So this idea of a more evolved face of Hinduism, which will talk about spiritual humanism rather than monotheism, is going to be the way forward. It may come much faster than I expect, simply because the world is moving very fast. Humanity is evolving very fast, and you've got this lovely magic tool called social media. So these ideas can enter society very fast.